नमः समयसाराय स्वानुभूत्या चकासते चित्स्वभावाय भावाय सर्वभावान्तरच्छिदे। I bow to the purest soul, absolutely free from the karmic matter, whose attribute is consciousness, that can only be known and revealed by the self to the self. That is all-knowing, which means it knows all the living and non-living substances of the universe at once, in their totality. I bow to the Absolute Soul, to the God Soul. Since the beginning of this series, we have been discussing what the soul is not. The Guru taught us two approaches to understanding reality. One is the practical viewpoint and the other is the absolute viewpoint. He guided us that there is an unchanged and permanent existence beneath the entire kingdom of change. We studied the importance of discriminatory knowledge and that only that knowledge is right that teaches us to differentiate between the two substances that run the cosmos. Once we get the gist of our true essence, we tend to seek out how our senses and mind play a highly important role in knowing ourselves. Kundakundacharya then teaches us that pleasure and pain do not belong to the soul, and with this understanding, we conclude that cause and effect are of the same nature. Next comes the query, if cause and effect belong to the same category, how does the soul perform karma? In the series of these queries, the teacher now takes us to analyze the importance of instrumental cause and substantial cause in any happening, followed by the teaching of how the soul reflects karma by giving the example of a crystal. By now, we are bound to ask ourselves then why the soul and karma interact with each other in the first place. To find the solution to this query, we take guidance from the work of Acharya Amrit Chandra, where he shares the eternal truth of the beginningless bond of Nimitta Naimittik between the two substances. The teacher keeps indicating how the soul has the ability to step out of this beginningless cycle of cause and effect. Now, we have come to the last teaching of Samay-sar that deals with the fundamental nature of the soul, svabhāva. Before we move ahead, let me portray a scenario. Imagine how the immeasurable, infinite ocean will deal with the tiny waves which seemed huge and troublesome earlier, once it is aware of its grandeur. Its wisdom will surely come to the surface, deal with the storm calmly, and return to its grandness. It will accept gracefully and as the nature of things if some of its possessions are lost despite all its genuine efforts. This is the soul's svabhāva. In his work Atmakhyati, Acharya Amrit Chandra describes 47 infinite powers of the soul when it attains its svabhāva. These powers are the states of the soul that do not depend on any karmic matter, be they physical or emotional. It is not possible to throw light upon all 47. However, we can discuss 4 powers that have also been mentioned in other scriptures. These 4 powers are infinite knowledge or Anant Gyan, infinite bliss or Anant Sukh, infinite power or Anant Virya, and infinite perception or Anant Darshan. Let's talk about infinite knowledge first. This is the state by bowing to which we start each episode of Soul Science. In this state, the soul becomes all-knowing, which means it accesses that knowledge that knows all the living and non-living substances of the universe without any discrimination of the three dimensions of past, present, and future of time. This knowledge knows the physical world of each atom, galaxy, star, planet, and solar system, and all the other dimensions of the cosmos, whether hellish or heavenly. It also knows the self and the rest of other souls in their totality and the psychic dispositions, which are the temporary modes of the soul. The soul becomes like a mirror at this stage where everything reflects. Coming to the state of infinite bliss, the soul achieves perpetual, unchangeable, unaffected bliss and keeps experiencing it forever. Because of this power, the soul has the absolute absence of anxiety. Infinite power or Ananta Virya is the attribute of the soul because of which it retains its svabhāva. Infinite perception or Ananta Darshan is when the soul has an absolutely enlightened worldview. This is similar to the state of infinite knowledge. In the very last stanza of Samay Sar, the teacher says, after reading this text, the living being who comprehends the meaning and the truth as described in it and abides in its essence will become the supreme bliss. Here are the quick key takeaways from today's lesson. 1. There is an eternal permanence underneath the continuously changing world. That unchanged permanence is the svabhāva of the soul. 2. When the soul is in association with or under the influence of anything temporary, be it material possessions or emotions, it reflects that specific behavior. We can say when the soul is interacting with others, it is its parbhav, or when it is not established in its own nature. 3. The soul is the substantial cause for modifications in itself in the same way as the matter. 4. The soul, being a conscious entity, can choose not to be the nimittik whenever a nimitta arises. 5. The soul inevitably strives to attain its pure self. That's why each of us seeks knowledge and wants to be happy. It is now the time for meditation. You may pause this video and take a few moments to calm yourself as much as you can. Take a few deep breaths, and during the process, release the tension in your thoughts. Release the stress on your muscles. Try bringing peace to your whole persona. And ponder. I am the infinite ocean, immeasurable, unbound, unrestricted. I am the permanence beneath all changes. I am the absolute. My emotions, pains, adversities, and dilemmas are not me, but the temporary occurrences of this worldly life. No one can harm the real me. I am infinite knowledge. I know everything in its totality. Hence, I am aware of how to solve the conflicts in my life. I am infinite bliss. Hence, I am free to stay joyful and to spread that happiness to whoever comes to my company. I am infinite power. Therefore, I adopt non-violence in my thoughts, words, and actions. I am the infinite realization. I know the nature of things. Hence, I prefer to be polite. I choose to take one step at a time in the direction of supreme bliss by spending some me time every day. You may now open your eyes.